I've seen a lot of people, they just don't even try to get into something. They just wanted to be in a box or wanted to be in a comfort zone. That's why they don't grow in their life. What do you think
Oh,
about that?
don't do that. Don't ever try and stick to your comfort zone. Hi everyone. This is Sunilesh Shirodkar here. I have been in the insurance and then the banking industry for the last 7 years. Uh, Pretty simple path to it. Did my MBA, got placed, and I've had a chance to spend the last 7 years at an insurance producer, at an insurance broking distributor, as well as a bank distributor now. So I've had a chance to really go around in the industry, understand how the business works. I've spent the entire 7 years in product and business strategy, which has allowed me to look at the industry from various lenses and from various angles, since I've worked with three different types of entities in the same industry. It helps me get a decent idea of how the business has been progressing. Plus, my focus area has been the digital side of business. That's what I have had a chance to focus upon and grow in, and that it's been fun till now.
Banking sector looks very attractive from the outside. It looks like a nine
Right.
to five job. Is it true or there is a
Oh,
myth?
it's not 9 to 5. It's definitely not 9 to 5. It can go from being 9 to 6 easily on a good day for a good department, and it can go on to be a 9 to 9, 9 to 10, or a 8 to 10 on a bad day for a department that works like that. So it really depends on your roles and the kind of people you're working with, and the requirement of the I don't know how seasonal requirement is very different. How your engagement on the 5th of the month is very different compared to the 30th of the month, and similarly is very different when it comes down to March. So it's a seasonal business. I've been in insurance for the last 7 years. I've been in bank for the last 3 years, and it's a seasonal business. Obviously, as the year end comes closer, the financial year end comes closer. The last quarter is obviously a lot more hectic. Since I'm on the sales side, on the business side of things. Similarly, for a functional role, which is more of a business support role, the lead up is a lot more difficult compared to the last quarter. So it really depends, but it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of learning, no matter what, no matter where you are.
As you mentioned about like your work as an insurance person and the sales person, what
Correct.
are the responsibility? What are the major responsibility you are handling right now?
Sure. So my role is has been predominantly a product and business strategy role. So at the bank, how the role functions is you have your own product. In my case, it's insurance and third party products. So you have your own product, and you might have a specific channel or set of channels that you are pushing the product through. So identifying what is the right type of product, because within a category there are multiple types of products, right? What is the right type of product that is suitable for the customer base that we are talking to? Identifying the right price points at for the various products. Uh, Identifying the go to market strategy, उनको हम retail products में बेचेंगे, or are we going to talk to them through the feet on street teams? Are we going to prefer the digital channels? What is the mode of sourcing? Then setting up all these systems and processes is something that we predominantly look into. Working very closely with our partners, working very closely with the channels that we have to devise the right strategy that allows us to present the best product for the right customer is what we try and do, and ensuring that the teams that are working on this are certified, are compliant to all the regulations that are involved, and ensuring that they are well trained as well as well incentivized in the right manners to ensure that they are selling the right products to the customer that is suitable for them, and they are able to reap the benefits of selling the right product to these customers.
As you had mentioned about like there are the things you have to research about your product first. So what all
Correct.
are the things involved in that?
It involves, because we are at a bank, and obviously you have to understand banks and even insurance are heavily regulated and audited.
Right.
So anything that we do get into has to be documented, has to have a sound reasoning and backing towards it. There are multiple teams working with us to ensure that everything is compliant to the norms that have been set for us, because it's very important to ensure that the customers' interests are protected and the shareholders' interests are protected. So therefore, it involves talking to a lot of teams from compliance perspective, from legal perspective, even from a branding perspective, and because my product is insurance, and therefore my work happens with a third party company, because banks don't produce their own insurance, right? We are selling a third party product. For example, at my bank, we are selling another insurance company's insurance. So working very closely with them and keeping their guidelines in check. So for example, if I'm launching a new product for a new customer segment, there will be extensive research into what are the kind of customers that are present in that particular segment, what are the type of products that they have bought in the past, not
Right.
necessarily insurance, but other products, and what products, what are the products and what are price points that we can look at going into them, that will help increase our penetration. Similarly, we look at peer data to understand what similar similarly placed entities are doing. It could be another bank, it could be a online entity, it could be a new startup that's doing great in the industry. We look at what they are doing, how they are doing it. Is it paper pen based, which no one really does nowadays? What the journeys are like, which is something that I get a chance to work closely with. What kind of journeys are created for the customer to be able to purchase these plans? There's a lot of data mining that's done, then which is followed by a lot of brainstorming between the right stakeholders to arrive at the right solution. And then there is testing कि चलो ये try करते हैं, if this works great, then there's iterations on that, what this worked, this did not work, how do you improve on what did not work, and how do you build on what did work. That's the general approach. But yes, notes तो बहुत होते हैं, documentation बहुत होता है, लड़ाइयाँ होती है, झगड़े होते हैं, back and forth keeps going on. That is part and parcel of the role.
So when you were doing your first job, what were the challenges you faced in your initial days?
The challenges are different on a day-to-day basis. The role is such when you are in a product management or business strategy management role, you are required to interact with pretty much every department in the
Oh,
company. आप sales से भी बहुत closely काम कर रहे हो. You're working very closely with finance. You're working very closely with marketing, HR, underwriting, compliance. You're working very closely with everyone, and I'm sure everyone understand that everyone works differently, and at larger organizations, people come from various backgrounds.
right.
So at least at my first job, the challenges included understanding what the business is, what the product is, and also understanding how different people work. Um, because when someone reports into you, when someone is in your team, it's easy to have that authority and get them
Right.
to do your work. But in a role like this, where it's very collaborative,
Right.
and everyone has a common interest but is not in the same team, it's very important to learn
So
how
do
to.
you have
Uh,
any specific strategy to tackle every person differently?
I mean, exactly as you said, every person has a different approach. Every person has different tick marks to get the work done. But I think it's just about highlighting what the benefit to the company and to the team is. It's very important that see, you know what the benefit your product is bringing to the company and to the customer, but not everyone will know that. It's very important that you are able to highlight these things to all the common stakeholders, that this is the benefit that the customer and the company gets from selling this product or from doing this
Right.
particular project or activity. And and you hope that everyone is a mature individual, and as long as you're being collaborative, as long as you're building the right relationships, and you're not doing anything wrong, it's easy to get people on board for that.
The research you were saying, like researching about your
Right.
product, understanding your product better, then going to a sales is a different thing. Sales is a very challenging sometimes because you just
Right.
need to sell a product.
Our distribution head keeps telling this to us, that always remember one thing: it is the sales team which is getting the revenue for the company.
Right.
Everyone else is a cost, and that's why they should always be treated like that. They are the bread and butter of the entire organization, and the challenges that they face are uncomparable. They are with the customer.
Right.
They are the customer's face for the company, and more often than not, they have limited control on what's happening at the back end, right?
Right.
we make a product, we make a process and give it to them. That, of course, in discussion with them, in consideration of them, but this is what is available. आपको ये जाके बेचना है, and they have to go and face the customer. They have to scope the customer out, that what needs to be done, what is the requirement, and that is very critical, especially for banking and insurance products, right? Customer की life savings लोग लगा देते हैं to because they are planning their entire life around these. So it's very important to identify what the right products for these customers are. Okay,
What
this is
subjects actually do you have in your graduation?
yeah, I have had a chance to spend both my graduation and my MBA in the same field. I've focused on business studies and I've focused on marketing throughout, and that's what I've done. So we end up covering about, I don't know, 30, 40 odd subjects across the 1, 2, 2, 3 years that we study, and it's mostly focused around business and various functions in the business.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your first job? How you get your first job and what were the
So
challenges?
my first job was through college placements. I was lucky to get placed at an insurance company from my college, and it was a very similar role to what I am doing. And as I mentioned, the challenges involved working with various types of department for the first time in my life, and with a product that I've never worked with. So there was a lot of learning that had to be done. There's a lot of talking to people and acquiring whatever information and knowledge that we can do, and that's very critical. That when you're starting off a new role or a new job, you talk to people, you soak in whatever information that you can, right? You don't even know what you don't know, so you have to. It's very important that you talk to the right people. You spend time listening to what your seniors are saying. You spend time talking to all the stakeholders involved, and just be a sponge and absorb whatever you can, because what you're going through, everyone else has been through, and that information is available publicly. That information is available in the people around you. Talk to the people that are willing to guide you. There's always people ready to help you and guide you no matter where you go. Trust me on that. So talk to them, soak in all the information you can, keep asking questions, keep taking notes, and that's how the challenges were. Just understanding how the dynamics of the business and the customers and the stakeholders involved is. That's the biggest challenge.
So, I think startup do have a lot of learning rather than working with a big firm.
Absolutely.
So, you are working with Scratch. You get an idea about how things work and how things don't work. So, you can experiment a lot of things there.
Correct. Correct. And the exposure changes substantially because आप जब एक बड़े company पे हो, there's the same task. There's a set of tasks being done by say 10 people, for example. But
Right.
at a smaller firm, because you're at a smaller scale or because you have lower resources or you're still growing, that same 10 people ka task is being done by one person. And not just horizontally, even vertically. So at my previous organization, something that my boss and my super boss were doing, I was getting a chance to do it here at my startup. So the exposure changes substantially.
Right.
The learning is so much greater. The risk is also so much greater, right?
Right.
Startup here, you never know when things go up, when things go down.
Students who are watching our show, they can relate to it. Like if they want to become a leader in their future and they want to become successful in their career, they just need to learn all the skills. So, talking about the skills, what are the skills required in your field?
Oh, that is very interesting. But due to the nature of the role that I am in, I think the most critical skill for this particular role, and that most roles is working with people, and as we like to term it, is stakeholder management, as we
Right.
call it, because uh, you have a lot of people that are involved, right? As I said, I'm working with a million teams. I have partners, I have channel teams. So the most critical skill is being able to work with people and being able to show them the vision, as I mentioned. That is very critical. But you also need to have a decent understanding of how the business works. You need to have a very decent understanding of what the product is. And I think these things are very important.
I've seen a lot of people, they just don't even try to get into something. They just wanted to be in a box or wanted to be in a comfort zone. That's why they don't grow in their life. What do you think
Oh,
about that?
don't do that. Don't ever try and stick to your comfort zone. Uh, My view is you will limit your growth substantially. You're only going to be growing and learning when you're outside your comfort box. And people, of course, when they're able to, always try and push yourself and put yourself out of that comfort box, because trust me, your comfort zone will grow. The moment you come outside that box now, your comfort zone will grow for it.
Right.
So always take a punt on yourself, take a risk on yourself when you're ready for it. It's very important.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights with us. That will be helpful for the students who are watching this show.